Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Today is a bonus episode that appeared first on Women, Men, and Relationships. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and don't forget, Black Friday sale tomorrow on Releasing What Weighs You Down. 25% off. Use the code 25, capital OFF at checkout, releasingwhatweighsyoudown.com. Welcome, everyone, to Women, Men, and Relationships. I'm JJ Flazanes.
Is that as opposed to relationships?
Correct. We do not speak about that show.
And I am Doug Sandler. I am co-host of Women, Men, and Relationships. Welcome back to another week of fun, festivities, and fuckery. Wait, no fuckery on this show. That would be the Nice Guys on Business podcast. If you want fuckery, just tune in Tuesdays and Thursdays to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. But today is not about the nice guys. Today is about women, men, and relationships. And why do you have this very critical, skeptical look on your face?
Well, first of all, since we're on the plug of your show, if you're going to listen to The Nice Guys and you're looking for something labeled Tuesday and Thursday, it won't be. It'll be labeled Monday and Wednesday. If you're an iTunes user, you're going to download.
What?
You're going to download the episode that says DNS, Doug and Strick.
Yes.
And then whatever fuckery things they say.
Hold up.
But it actually doesn't get public. It gets published like the night before, so It shows up on iTunes as Monday and Wednesday, not Tuesday and Thursday.
No kidding. Why am I just realizing this 800 episodes into our show?
Well, it might have used to do it, and it's the Tuesday show technically, but I think depending on wherever iTunes does their, like what day of the week or what day. So, yeah.
Mind blown. I am completely taken aback.
It's okay, honey. It's all right. It doesn't change anything. It's still a Tuesday or Thursday. I appreciate you calling me
honey sugar. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's all sweet. Whether it's honey or sugar, it's still sucrose. Corn syrup. Syrupy, sickening
sweet. And it still kills you and gives you diabetes. Okay.
So anyway, if you call your loved one sugar or honey, it will kill you.
Yes.
That's what we're getting to.
So today's show is a Q&A. We had a piece of fan mail.
We got fan mail. Mail's in. Do you remember Blue's Clues when you were growing up? You remember Blue's Clues?
I don't know.
You don't know Blue's Clues with Steve?
No.
Oh, no. And those that are in our listening audience, if you don't know what Blue's Clues is,
it means you're younger.
Ask your parents.
Right.
It's okay.
So this show is about a week late that what I originally had told Rod I was going to do. So Rod, sorry about that.
Oh my God, we're late. We're thinking we're pregnant, but no, we're just running late.
Well, I shouldn't have committed to doing it so quickly. I just get excited because I love when I get questions, and a lot of the times for Spirit, Purpose, and Energy, when I get questions, I literally record it like the day of or the next day, and I publish it because I love doing solo shows to answer these questions way better than writing or typing. Yes, Doug?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have a statement.
Okay.
I've done this several times, and I would like to do this here on this show. I would like to profess my love for JJ Flazanes.
Is this a rollover from dinner conversation?
Yes, this is totally. We were talking about our love languages at dinner tonight, and I recognize the fact that while JJ Flazanes, her love languages are quality time and words of affirmation and what the hell's the other one?
Touch.
And touch, right? Those three. I discovered that I have been giving you the other two, which are acts of service and gifts, probably quite often. And I've just not figured out what your love languages are. Although you say that they are, it's quality time, touch, and words of affirmation. I give you all five. I will give you all five. And if you don't know what we're talking about, read Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages.
Or go back and listen to it on one of my channels. I've done it on Fit to Love, and it may even be here on Women, Men, and Relationships. In the beginning, I do a review of the 5 love languages. Of course, you can still go to Gary Chapman's site. In fact, go to 5lovelanguages.com, the number 5, and take the test and figure out which ones yours are.
Yeah, I think it would be great. And I also think it would be good to put JJ on the spot right now and ask her if she indeed does follow my love languages, the ones that I consider most important to me. Which would be?
Words of affirmation is first.
Yes.
Touch is number 2.
Yes.
Quality time is number 3.
Yes.
Gifts
Gifts is 5.
Number 5, really?
Yeah, gifts are
Okay,
5
so
and
acts of
acts
service.
of service, yeah.
Okay, so cleaning off the table and cleaning off, cleaning the bottom shelf of the refrigerator that I had to call attention to, or
Wow.
cleaning off. Didn't you, when you got back from your trip, you noticed that I had cleaned off some of the pseudo dining room table stuff and said, "Oh, this is good job." Or when you did notice when I did clean off the bathroom counter for you, and even though you think it's become more cluttered, it's actually still better than
I think
it
we
ever
need to
was.
move on. Quit while you're behind, I always say.
Considering you started this conversation, let's get back to
Yes, get back to
the
Rod's
Q&A.
comments.
Yeah, so
please.
I'm going to read Rod's
Thank
message
you, Rod.
to us,
Thank you, Rod.
and hopefully you guys that are out there can relate to this. Hey, JJ, recently found yours and Doug's story and am inspired. My wife has been on this journey of alignment for much longer than myself. She's definitely more like you, and I relate way more with Doug. I would love to know how
Thanks, Rod.
to remain equals within a relationship when one partner is much more further along in her spiritual awakening journey than the other, risking one partner becoming the teacher and the other the student. I can see the problems arising in my relationship based on the, quote, follow the leader mentality, and I know it's not going to work long term. I am, much like Doug, living a better life, less stress, more aligned with who I am, and want to continue advancing in that way. But when it comes down to it, I need her to be a sounding board and vice versa. So how do you separate the advanced knowledge from the eager student without sacrificing the balance of the relationship?
Nice question, Rod.
Now, Rod's wife's name is Brooke, so we will talk to Rod and Brooke through this podcast. And Doug, let's start with any thoughts besides nice question, Rod. Do you have any thoughts that you would like to share?
Yeah, I think that what Rod is experiencing is not unlike what many couples experience in their relationship, where you might have one in the couple, so partner of the two, at a different level in a certain category, and it may be in emotional intelligence, it may be in understanding the words of affirmation or a love language, it may be in understanding many things. But I think, Rod, don't undersell yourself, man. I think that there's probably a number of things that you bring to the relationship that are within your zone of genius that you don't even realize that are within your zone of genius, because it just comes naturally to you. So the first thing that I thought when you read that email to me the first time, how did it come to you? Through
Instagram.
Through Instagram. So when you read to me that post the first time was, wow, I think that Rod probably has a grasp on the things that his wife has as her strengths, but he doesn't have a grasp on what is his strength that he's bringing to the relationship. And I think that he's probably bringing a lot to the relationship that he may not even realize. Just the fact that he is conscious of the potential that there is a shortfall from his perspective shows that he is actively interested in improving the things that he may not think are his strengths.
Absolutely. I would agree 100%. I also want to acknowledge that while there's the role of the teacher student really in one avenue, Doug talked about everyone has their zone of genius and finding what yours is. Everyone's still a student, even in the teacher role. And that would be what I would want to remind you of, Rod, is that your wife, and she didn't obviously add to this conversation, but there's a balance of, yes, I know that. Yes, I practice that. Yes, I do that. I think there's also, the smarter the person is, the really conscious you are, the more you realize you're also a student at all times. There's always an opportunity for me to learn from my relationship with Doug, and from me to learn in terms of how I react to things, to how I react to watching things that he does with other people. And as you had mentioned in the email through Instagram, that you would listen to the Harville Hendrix show 3 times, right? So that's why I love Imago Therapy, is because you two both chose each other to heal wounds for each other. And there is an equality, maybe not in like the list of, because I know from past experience that if you had to like say, oh, I have 5 deep wounds and the other person has like 20, there's still a level playing field of, there is something I need to help you heal, and there's something you need to help me heal. And figuring out what that is, even if you don't have her do the work with you. I did the Imago therapy exercise at the next big step with everybody, and I had Doug do it when his relationship shifted, and I did it with my husband in therapy, but he didn't finish his, and I finished mine. And later on, I asked if I could see his, and he still hadn't finished it, but he had gone right up into the last page. And then I took it and I finished it.
He missed the best part.
Right. The best part is the last page where you're wrapping it all together. Yeah. But he was out anyway. He was just going through the motion. He wasn't really in it to figure it out. And when I filled it out for myself, it was all I needed to see to understand what I was sort of up against and to make some decisions about where I was going to put my energy and efforts and how the dynamic between us was going. So I think that you don't need your partner to do the work with you. It definitely helps, but just remember that she's still a student too. And if she's not aware of that yet, it's okay, but it's good for you to understand that you're teaching her things too. And until the two of you heal those deepest wounds from the Imago work, then there is value in your evolution for her. So I wouldn't, and I know because you can often feel, I think Doug even expressed that to me early on in our relationship. I don't want to become the person that you're charity or you're helping or what did you say to me?
I don't remember, but but it was like I felt to a degree that in the beginning, especially, that it's like, holy shit, all of this stuff that I am learning, I am like your student, and I'm going to be forever not only in debt to you, which we're not keeping score, but I feel like I don't want to always feel like I'm this student. And then I step back and realize that the things that are the most obvious to me are the things that I am, that I have the greatest shortfall of. So when it came to things like relationship building and communication and understanding and defining where I fit into the relationship and what wounds that I have and what I needed in order to heal, those were many of the things that were your strengths. And so stepping into the relationship, I was stepping into the sweet spot of where your work is. And then I looked at it and thought, all of these things, and you may not necessarily focus on these things, but the things that I know that a lot of people may appreciate, I'm not saying that you don't appreciate these parts that I bring to the table, but organizational skills and management skills and entrepreneurial spirit and motivation and positivity and a lot of those things that I take for granted because I do them day in and day out as a part of my business coaching and my business, that I completely just said, well, those things are unimportant. Those are easy for me. It's the things that you don't know how to do that are going to stand out, Rod, that are going to be the most obvious things to you that you need to improve, but do never sell yourself short on the things that you have as your strengths.
So what I find fascinating about this is if we look back, and I remember sort of how this started with you and the concern you did have, because the relationship is different and it shifted, and because I think here's what, for me, one of the most important parts of how the balance has happened with Doug and I. He listened, and he cared to do it, and he implemented it.
Never underestimate the power of listening. It's so amazing that if you feel like there is, and I apologize for interrupting you, JJ, but it's so clear to me now that this was a void in your life with your past relationship that was such a sore void for you, that just having a partner that would listen to you, that would not necessarily follow the practices as you laid them out, but just listen. Just hear out what you have to say.
Hold on, I got to defend him here. No, he did listen, and he listened, and he would say, I don't always agree, but he did listen. He had resistance, but he did listen. Where it's different with you is you actually want to listen, and you want
desire, but you yearning for listening,
because you want. Let's be real. You have often poked fun at yourself because you want to do it before anyone else can do it, at the fact that there's been 2 marriages, right? So there's some shame about that, just like I've had shame about the whole idea of getting divorced. So now you're alert, you're awake, you're no longer interested in having this happen again because you feel like, oh my God, what just happened? I have no idea. Where was I? I thought everything was great. And all of a sudden now I have no relationship. So that pain has propelled you forward into going, I want to know what the fuck is going on all the time. I want to be completely awake and aware. I want to understand on a different level than I ever have before. So that desire that you have meets my passion to teach it and to share it and to do it with somebody.
Agreed.
Now, because you've said, well, I tried it this way and that way and those didn't work, and now I'm at this new stage of, well, let's try this because I want something to work, and I definitely want something to be different. When you're first married, I'm guessing for most people, is that you don't know any different. You bring with you all that stuff and you try it whatever way you try it, and then if it doesn't work out, I know a lot of people who just, stay in their second marriage because they quote unquote learned their lesson, or they figured out how to choose differently, or they whatever. I don't know that I think everyone's healed their crap. I think they just put up with different things. But I have a very strong desire, and so do you, for understanding, which is where we meet and where we balance. And it's making me think, Rod, the other thing I would suggest to you guys, and for you especially, is to understand your astrology. If you understood the difference between your sun and moon combination and her sun and moon combination, that would absolutely help at times where you might feel like she's stronger in an area, or maybe, it would help to have more compassion for yourself.
I'm just concerned with that last comment, that all of these things that you had said, I don't want to lose Rod because of his belief or lack of belief in astrology. I agree with you more so than ever that astrology does play a role. And you know me, I was never a woo person before this, but there's got to be some level of credence and credibility that I lend to astrology. But that may not be Rod's gig. The only reason I say that is because it's like, I would have the disclaimer, Rod, whether you believe or don't believe in astrology, here is an angle that you may want to consider. Let me just start it that way.
Okay, so he's listening to my show.
I know.
So this is not like a topic I never talk about.
I know, but maybe Rod's maybe he's a new listener to the show. I don't want to scare him away because you just hit him with the moon and stars, and I know that if I heard that for the first time out of you, if from a rationalization or justification perspective, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? You just told me all these amazing things, and now you're going to blame it on the moon and the stars. Now, I don't disagree with you now, but at the time when I entered this relationship, that was not. I would have said, please, can we get past the woo and the magical stuff and the pixie dust, and can we just get into reality of why I'm acting this way? I'm not apologizing for you. I don't need to, and you do an amazing job, and I do believe in astrology. But Rod, I would have to say this could be the answer. It also might not be. So I didn't
say it was the answer.
I know.
I said it would be helpful.
Just putting it out there.
I would say it would be helpful.
I know.
Okay, helpful and compassionate to understand.
I love you, baby.
Okay. So let's go back to the question. How does one not get trapped in the student versus the teacher? And so let's recap for a second. So Doug's suggestion was for Rod, for you to remind yourself about what you bring to the table, about your zone of genius, about your strengths, and about the things that you do well that you may not even consider something special.
Right.
But there's something different. And you know what? You may even ask your wife. Don't set it up in the way that you've said it to me and to Doug.
Yes.
Don't say, hey, I want to get out of this teacher or student role. Just say, hey, honey, what do you think I do well? What do you think that I excel at that's different than you?
You can preface that by saying, here are the things that I think that you do well.
If she needs that.
Yeah, some people don't ask me that question. That's a horrible question to ask because you're asking me to tell you why you're so good. So I preface the conversation with, can I tell you some of the things that I appreciate about you?
And I'd say, why? What do you want to know?
No,
Because you're setting me up
that's
because you
fine.
want me
That's
to answer
fine.
a question in
And
reverse. So let's just cut to the chase, and I'll just answer the question.
Please, just set it up properly. Compliment somebody before you ask what's so good
Hold
about
on, Mr. Parrot.
it. Wait a minute.
Hold on, Parrot.
Come on.
The Eagles and the Owls don't want to be set up. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation. What I just said, the whole bird thing, because
that's a whole different.
that's a whole nother show.
A whole nother show
about personality types, because Doug's personality type and also love languages, words of affirmation, that's his setup. But that's not mine, and it might not be hers. So there's okay. So you might want to ask. So that was step one. But it was a very nice try, sweetheart. You did a very good job.
My feelings.
In case Rod is a parrot or Brooke is a parrot. That was very good of you to.
Thank you. Just give me all sides. All sides. Damn it.
Except you pulled down the astrology first. So don't give me that bullshit. All right. All right. So step one was to remember what you bring to the table.
Can I remind you how much I love doing this show with you? I love doing this show. This is such a far cry from what I do on the Nice Guys on Business podcast, where I love Strickland and he is an amazing co-host. Doesn't quite have the body that you have, though. Anyway,
that's good for me.
I digress.
Right. And we do it in bed all the time. I mean, really, we're lying down. There's no computer. It's on a task cam. Like, it's awesome. We could be outside. We could be at the beach, in front of the ocean in Cabo, Mexico. So
this is true.
Lots of benefits to podcasting as a couple and having a traveling mic. So that was step one was Rod. You figure out what you bring to the table in terms of your skill sets that are different than hers. Number two, also remember at all times, she is also a student, but she may not remember that. And so you're going to need to remember that she's also a student. And the more you're open to, if she's really, really good and you keep learning, the gap will close quickly. Mm-hmm. If you're resistant and your ego takes a hit because you think in fact, that happened to me. If your ego takes a hit and you defend yourself or you get resistant, then the gap will widen.
Remind me for a second. Does what's Rod's wife's name?
Brooke.
Does Brooke listen to the show or doesn't listen to the show? Do you know?
I don't think she listens to the show. I asked him if he shared
the
Harville Hendrix, and he said not yet.
So the reality of it may be that Brooke may not even realize that she's a student, and she may not feel like she needs to be a student. So there's a whole lesson in that alone. Again, the Harville Hendrix show will share a lot of information about, who do you need to change? You can't change somebody else. You can only change you, and you're only in control of your behavior. So just be very careful with how you're proceeding. If you expect her to change for you, that's the wrong approach to take. She is not going to change for you. You need to change your behavior for a whole different level of understanding of what's going on.
Okay, good. So we have the two-step process so far, and the second one was to remember that she is a student, even if she doesn't know it. And then the third step I recommended that Doug cautioned you on was to do a little bit more digging of things like love languages or astrological placements so that you can have a better handle on how you interpret information and how she may interpret it, so that at the times where you're thinking you're feeling sheepish or like a little bit shameful or like you're behind, that you can remember or make sense of or be compassionate to either yourself or to her, because you understand a little bit more about you.
And step 4, when all else fails, foster kittens.
Okay, I have such a tangent to go on about that, but I'm not going to. They may be dog people. So hopefully that helps. What do you think, Doug? Is there anything else that because I know when I read that to you,
Yeah, I loved it. Well, my whole thing was the zone of genius. I think that was really important to understand, that there is a zone of genius that you have that you may not even realize that you bring to the table, and we've covered that in ad nauseum. So, love the question, Rod. We'd love to have a follow-up maybe post on Instagram also after you listen to the episode. Let us know what you think about it. If there's anybody else out there that has a question or a statement about any of the episodes that you've listened to, Instagram would be great. In your Facebook group, do you have a Facebook group? You have a Facebook group, don't you?
I have my manifestation challenge.
Okay.
And actually, let me throw this out there in case you're interested.
4242 DJ Doug.
No, I'm done trying to promote people calling you.
You're welcome to call me too, 4242 DJ Doug. But you got to tell me it's for the Women, Men, and Relationship show and not for the Nice Guys on Business. But anyway, you were going to say?
Well, I'm thinking about my January event. And we're going to be dealing with a lot of couples things. We're not doing the Imago exercise, although we may do a different Imago exercise. But we're definitely going to be doing astrology and love languages and victim triangle.
Circles?
We're definitely, yes, honey, we're doing circles.
I love the circles.
So,
oh my God.
Rod or any other couple that's out there, if anyone who's listening to the show is interested in coming, because I don't know that I'm going to be doing it again in this way, I'm happy to do a buy one, get one half off for those of you that listen to the show, but you have to come obviously as a couple. I'm not, that's what I'm extending the offer to. So,
and let me say this too, couples that are listening to this or individual or whether you're the husband or the wife in the couple, I think it would be an amazing experience for you to come, because I was there at the last event and unfortunately I could only be there for half the event. I had an event myself down in DC. The experience that I had, even for the day and a half that I was there, was amazing. And I think that the fact that JJ was not only my partner, but running the event also, made this so much more amazing, because we were learning and growing and sharing together. I learned some things about JJ I did not even know, and I've been seeing her for quite some time. So it's very interesting. I think that couples, you would get a lot out of this. I would encourage you highly to be there. And what? Buy one, get one half price?
Yeah, I will extend that offer to couples who listen to any of my shows.
Price, or do I have to pay the full price?
Yeah, we're gonna make you pay the full price.
Oh man,
Mr. Entrepreneurial Money Bags. I'm just joking. So yeah, anyway, that's just an offer. I just put it out there because, especially as the man, if you have a woman who does spiritual work and self-growth, are you kidding me? What a turn on to have my partner say, yeah, I'll go to that workshop with you. Yeah, let's go do a retreat together and get to know each other on a deeper level. I mean, hello.
Well, so does that mean that you feel that way when I said that I'm going to go to the
Harville Hendrix?
Yeah, at the end of January.
Yeah.
Did you like that? You dig that?
Yeah.
Will that get me laid a couple of extra times in the month of December?
Will it? Yes, dear, it will. It will. How's that? I promise.
Right.
I promise.
Well, I don't have the measuring stick, so I don't know to compare it to what? A couple of extra times? That means in addition to?
Yeah.
Okay, this is good.
Whatever you want. How's that?
Start keeping score.
We're not really. Okay. So this show this week is actually, I decided to publish it. This is the week of Thanksgiving. So if you're listening to this, it is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving. And actually what's going on right now is a 25% off Black Friday sale for the Releasing What Weighs You Down tickets. So nice. In case you're still listening, you can use the code 25OFF. Use capital letters OFF at checkout, and that will expire on Saturday. So it is Black Friday sale, 25% off, Releasing What Weighs You Down single tickets. If you're a couple, I will do a buy one, get one half off.
Holy shit. How do you even know how to do all those things? Do you have like somebody that does that for you, or do you kind of plug it in yourself? You're amazing.
Yes.
You're simply amazing.
Yes.
I just sell everything retail all the time because I can't figure out how to get those fucking promo codes and coupons into my sales page. So you know what? If you ever buy anything from me, it's always going to be retail. Not because I don't want to give you a discount, but because I don't know how to give you a discount.
Because he doesn't know how. But also because he doesn't want to give you a discount. Really, that's really what that's about. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I wanted to publish the show this week to answer Rod, but also because I thought with all of the heightened emotions around the holidays, and it was a little bit of comic relief and relationship centering. Next week's show is actually a show that happened, or in a recording that happened before this one, because Doug was away for a while. So just in case you're wondering if it's out of order, it is, but that's because I care to answer answer your questions first than I do to just relate, our lives to you. So anyone else that has a question out there, we're happy to answer it, and I'm happy to bump it up in the production schedule so that you can get your answer faster.
I wonder if I have a name like Doug is kind of like a manly name. Like Rod is a really manly name. I mean, like Rod. It's like tough. Doug. It means kind of like from dark water.
Doug is like nice. Remember you were talking about the Uber driver who picked, always because the guy said to you, all Dougs are nice.
Oh,
like,
have
you ever met a Doug that isn't nice? And I don't know that I have.
Well, like Doug, whoa, what's going on, Domino? Domino the cat, the crazy cat just came tearing through here.
She's tired of the kittens.
Very excited about being in the house with us. Yeah, maybe Domino has a flea. Maybe we need to fix Domino's flea.
Well, she's excited that we're laying in bed and paying attention to her. So, okay, everyone. Well, happy Thanksgiving. We won't keep this any longer than it needs to be. We wish you a lot of love and good food and hopefully healthy food. If you haven't listened to yesterday's show, it was what cooking oil not to use. You may have gotten it too late for Thanksgiving or whatever you're celebrating today if you live outside of the U.S., but definitely make sure to listen to it and download that show because it's really about your health moving forward. Want to make sure you're the best you can be, body, mind, and soul. That's the whole point of my brand. I do appreciate you listening. I do appreciate you writing in and asking questions, and I do appreciate Doug for being here, being amazing, and having us manifest each other and be able to do fun stuff like this and hopefully inspire, share, and learn from you as well. I hope to see you at Releasing What Weighs You Down.
And Tofurky, it's Furky, Tofuki. How do you say that? Tofurky?
Yeah.
Tofurky for all.
Yeah, we're not having that.
No, what is that exactly?
Tofurky?
Is it like tofu?
Yeah.
But does it taste like turkey?
No.
Oh, God.
I don't know, actually. I shouldn't say that. I've never had tofurkey.
Do they shape it? Do they put those little pastry things on the end of the legs and everything? I don't know. I don't even know what tofurkey is, but it doesn't sound appetizing.
Well, whatever it is that you decide to eat on that day, whether it be vegan, vegetarian,
apple pie for everybody,
or not, we'll be enjoying a nice, fun, relaxing day with some friends and eating well. So we wish you nothing but love on today and appreciation and gratitude. Happy Thanksgiving.
Love you all.